episode number 2 for the Triad. So the first one, check it out if you're interested in mastering your triads. This is a long, slow process, and I'm just kind of taking my time, making sure we get all the information that you need to know to help you on your triad journey. So the first lesson we looked at the intervals of each triad, and then we mapped it on the guitar on one string. Very important to do that first. Now we're going to take a look at the intervals on adjacent strings. And this is how the pattern starts to form on the guitar. So we've got 3 intervals: major third, minor third, and perfect fourth. So let's just dive in here. We'll take a look at C major. So if we're on C, that's our root, and we want to go up a major third, let's just look at major thirds. So major third is going to give us this shape here. You can think about it as obviously the third note of the major scale. So if you know your major scale pattern, you can really see it really clearly. You've got the 8th fret C, 7th fret E. That's always going to be a major third on these 2 adjacent strings, the E and the A string. If I wanted to play that with a G, F, those are all major thirds. So that is the shape. You want to burn that into your brain. Major third. Let's take a look at the next string set, A and D. We can find those same exact notes down here on the 3rd and 2nd fret. Same shape. Go up to the G, F, C. Just kind of moving around a little bit so you can see how that sounds when you move a major third around. But either way, it's the same interval, it's the same distance. Then we've got the D string. Let's find our C on the D string here. That's going to be on the 10th fret. Again, same shape. The D to G string, they're the same relationship. Now, when we move to the B string, this is where things start to change. And this is where people get a little frustrated sometimes, but it's really not too complicated. It's just the one adjacent string, the G to the B, is what changes the shape. So G to B, we have to slide it over one. So where's our C at on the G string? Right here on the 5th fret. So instead of here, that's not right. It's right above it now. So now the shape has changed. Important to know. We're moving from the G to the B string because the B string is not tuned a perfect fourth. It is tuned a major third. So it's just stacked right on top of it there. This helps us grab chords, etc. So we've got now you don't have to necessarily know all the spots here. It's really more important that you just see that shape. The last one, if we have our C here, same as the first shape. Okay? So those are our major third shapes. I guess an exercise could be, actually that would be a good exercise. Locate the C, play a major third above it. And you can do this with any note. So here's a good exercise. C on the root, or on the E string. Then here. Maybe go backwards. 3-1. Either way, it's all good. But yeah, like I said, these are just the building blocks of our triad. So if you skip this, you're going to be confused. Okay. And you're just going to be kind of not as much clarity as that you could have with this stuff. So we're doing our major triad. So that's the first interval in a major triad is the 1 to the 3, which is a major third distance. And that's what it looks like on two adjacent strings. They're all the same except for the G to the B string. And that's going to hold true with all these shapes. So let's take a look at the minor third. So a minor third is just a half step smaller than the major third. Okay. Now for this example, we're just going to keep it on C, just so we can keep that reference point, because we're really just looking at the intervals. Later, we're going to apply it to the actual chord, the actual triad. Okay. So we start here. A minor third is just going to be, there's our major third. So it's just going to be down a half step, that E flat, or the 6th fret. So instead of 8, 7, or C, E, we're going to have 8, 6, C, E flat. And you can hear the difference. Just like what we were doing earlier on one string, you can really hear the major and the minor. So we got, that's the shape now. That's the minor third shape. Now here, this is what's really kind of confusing, and it can trip people up a little bit, is the C, when we're on the G string to the B string to the minor third, it's the same shape as the major third, right, on the other strings. But it's not. It's a minor third when we're going from the G to the B string due to the way the guitar is tuned. Okay? And then C to E flat down here. So yeah, the exercise would be locate the C's and do the minor third. Okay, so that's 2. One more shape here, perfect fourth. Since the guitar is tuned into fourths, except for the B string, the fourth just sits right on top of the root note. So if we're on C again, going up a perfect fourth, and that's just, you can imagine the 4th note of the major scale. So that's a perfect fourth, sits right on top of it. Unless you're going to the B string, then it's over 1. Where am I at? There we go. Okay, so this is just, I'm just breaking these into little episodes here. So this is episode 2. All we want to do is see these shapes, these intervals on adjacent strings. Because the next episode, we're going to start stacking the intervals to actually form our triads. Okay, and so take your time with this and just enjoy the process. You know, there's a lot of important things here seeing these intervals this way, because when we start changing strings, this is when the guitar gets kind of confusing. Pretty easy to see on one string. When we start changing strings, then the shapes, you have to really get grounded in this stuff and see these shapes. So take your time. You know, major third, that's 4 frets, that's 3 frets. The 2 would be 2 frets, and then the flat 2, that'd be 1 fret. And then if you could reach all the way down here, same note. And you can see kind of why the guitar's built that way. You don't really need to play the same note on 2 different strings. Oh, can I do an octave? Yeah, that's a long stretch. But anyway, just focus on those 3 intervals. Major third, minor third, perfect fourth. See them all over the guitar. Pick a note. I did C. You can do any note. Move them around. And hit me up, comments, any questions about this. Again, Tortoise won the race, slow and steady. Just one step at a time. Ground yourself in the information. The stronger your foundation is, the easier it is to bring on newer information, and we can get into more complex stuff as we do that. So anyway, peace.